The maniacal forces of the digital realm have come to wreak havoc. I feel like this might have been the shortest movie ever if someone had the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by NordVPN, the VPN service constantly striving to help make traversing this digital hellscape known as the internet a little safer and a little more secure. Nord's threat protection always got your back, scanning for viruses and malware from websites you visit, files you download, stonewall blocking it if it looks suspicious, but also Nord's there to open up the internet, truly make it the World Wide Web. Did I just date myself by calling it that? But say you're on vacation in another country, you got some downtime, you want to stream some stuff from back home. Or maybe you've heard this show in this other country is so awesome. In either case, you might not have access to the content. With Nord, you can change your virtual location with a couple of clicks, choose between over 5,000 servers in 60 countries. The internet is truly yours once again, my friends. One account protects up to 10 devices, all backed by Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So click the link below, go to nordvpn.com/johns, get an exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 extra months. And now the long-awaited third Tron movie involving exactly 0 characters from the previous 2 movies, save for one forced cameo. Sure. So Tron Ares is the long-awaited sequel to Tron Legacy, kind of, technically. Directed by the director of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and Maleficent Mistress of Evil. I'm not really talking you into watching this, am I? Good, because I'm not trying to. To be fair, I skipped Maleficent Mistress of Evil. We return to the Tron world. The grid, well, sometimes, but the world of Tron. The rival company of Encom, Dillinger Systems, under the leadership of their new CEO, played by Evan Peters, has found a way to bring programs from the grid, the digital world, to our physical world. There is, however, a complication with that process, so everyone's looking for this thing that will eliminate the complication with that process. Dillinger Systems has a master control program named Ares on their side, played by Jared Leto, who starts developing a conscience throughout the whole thing, so here we go. That's actually a piece of the plot, because the plot's remarkably convoluted, but surprisingly says very little. What I liked about the movie first, sweet before we go sour, the best character in the film by far, that 9 Inch Nails soundtrack. When we heard it was 9 Inch Nails doing the soundtrack to the new Tron movie, I feel like we all collectively had one word in mind. That word, in the words of Street Fighter 2, is perfect. The tracks hit, they bump hard. Whether it's ambience or excitement, it gets you pumped. There were a couple tracks that reminded me of the soundtrack to Tron Legacy by Daft Punk. Not saying 9 Inch Nails is aping Daft Punk, I'm just saying in that sequel kind of way, how the sequel has a soundtrack and you kind of hear notes and tones from the previous movie and it makes it feel like it's all in one universe. I mean, that would be the only thing in this movie that makes it feel like it's connected to Tron Legacy in any real way. Specifically, a track or two reminded me of the song in Tron Legacy when they were going to the bar to meet Michael Sheen's character. Anyhow, 9 Inch Nails had a job. They understood the assignment and they did it well. I will say, as much as I like the music, I can't recall the theme to Tron Ares. You know, a movie has a theme. Superman theme, Star Wars has a theme, Batman has a theme. Tron Legacy has a theme, the grid. That song is amazing. And it's only been an hour since I've seen Tron Ares, the one time, so maybe it's there. I'll listen to the soundtrack more. I'll binge the soundtrack. We'll see. Also, the CGI, the visuals in this movie are pretty great. I feel like most reviews are going to have those same 2 positives. Mileage may vary on a few things in here. There might be some intermittent information. Maybe someone liked this more than that. Maybe someone didn't like this more than that. I feel like a constant, if I'm placing my bets, are going to be positives all around for the visuals and the soundtrack. But Tron's always been there to technologically have a movie that looks good. The original Tron may look dated now, but at the time, that was revolutionary. Tron Legacy, other than that uncanny valley you run into with Clue's face that does look CGI, the rest of the visuals in Tron Legacy still look good today. I watched it last night. Or by the time you see this, night before last. Still, the day before I saw Tron Ares. I hear the visuals in the 3D are staggeringly amazing. I saw it in 2D, so I wouldn't know. But point is, 2D, 3D, it's a visual spectacle with not much else going on. A big frustration I have with this movie is it doesn't feel like a sequel to Tron Legacy. It deals with nothing that Tron Legacy dealt with or set up. The ISOs in Tron Legacy, we were gonna go somewhere with that. It was gonna change the world, change how people saw life, and nope, nothing to do with that whatsoever. No characters from Tron Legacy in here. To be fair, there is an Easter egg and a mention that, well, maybe in the next movie we'll get the Tron Legacy sequel that this movie didn't really feel like. I feel like having an actor come back to reprise their role, not necessarily in the grid, but in the corporate setting, in the real world in this movie, like Cillian Murphy, for example, would have gone a long way. No, couldn't make it happen? Well, we'll just create a new Dillinger, I guess. Cillian Murphy was Edward Dillinger. Evan Peters is Julian Dillinger. They're different. The corporate world that this movie largely revolves around just filled up with new characters you don't know, and the movie doesn't make you care about him. I thought Evan Peters was fun in the movie. At the very least, he was having fun in the movie. I feel like the eccentric tech bro that is his character is what Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was supposed to be. Which kind of brings me to my next point. This movie has too many irons in the fire, too many characters that you do not care about. Jared Leto as Ares was solid. The movie revolves around him, so that does help. There are even a couple of moments of humor with his character who doesn't really understand human humor, so he's kind of deadpan about it, that I felt landed. Which is another element in this movie that kind of feels like a Terminator movie. This movie is a bit Terminator-esque at times. Only not as good, but, well, comparative quality may get more accurate depending on which Terminator sequel we're talking about here. But Jared Leto is the standout of the main characters. That is to say, there are two main characters in this movie. Eve Kim, played by Greta Lee, who is the CEO of Encom, which is exactly where Tron Legacy left off. She got absolutely swallowed up by this movie. The contrast between how much screen time she has, how important she is to the plot, and how forgettable she is staggering. Her little tech friends in the movie didn't care about them, one of which is the comic relief guy. I never laughed, I only ever rolled my eyes. This movie's frustrating because it has themes conceptually that are interesting, but it never really actually hammers it home. Flynn was like, this technology is gonna change the world. Dillinger's corporation was like, or we can weaponize that tech, create armies. That's interesting to me because that's what we as human beings do. Black powder, nuclear energy, social media, now the grid. Any technology, we just weaponize it. It's a theme that could be a fascinating dive, but the movie never really does it. It's like, all right, we're just making an army. What's the point of the movie? But there's a complication with this process, so we gotta find the MacGuffin that'll eliminate the complication with this process. Bring on the Terminator-esque themes, but it all exists for one simple purpose. Fun action sequences, baby. And there is definitely, at a point in this movie, some hard nostalgia bait. I love me some nostalgia, who doesn't? But when the movie's mediocre, it just makes it feel like desperate nostalgia bait. And I'll be honest, Tron Legacy is better. And it's not just better, it's better by a clear mile. I guess Tron is the second cyber trilogy in which the third movie really leans into the movie taking place largely in the real world. The more boring world. In the end, yeah, Tron Ares absolutely disappointed me. Solid soundtrack and, you guessed it, action sequences and visuals, baby. But nothing below the surface of that. The story of corporate soullessness on screen is only rivaled by the off-screen element that made this movie. A movie I'm not really gonna remember in T-1 day. Yep.
I already forget.
Alright, so Tron Ares, have you seen it? What did you think about it? What did you think of Tron Legacy? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.